Left 4 Dead 2 took the world by storm when it was released on November 17, 2019 in the United States. It built upon the innovative zombie-slaying gameplay of its former and received great scores from across the board. In countries like United States and Mexico, the game was completely uncut, gory, bloody, and explosive. But countries like Germany and Australia were not too sure about the depictions of violence toward human-looking NPCs.
From bringing in weapons from Counter-Strike Source, to making corpses disappear before they even hit the ground, Valve used some weird steps to tiptoe around Germany and Australia's rating board to make sure everybody got to play Left 4 Dead 2. My name is Cameron, and this is the story behind Left 4 Dead 2's bizarre censorship history.
On September 17, 2009, the Australian Classification Board denied to classify the game because it contains violence that is high in impact and is therefore unsuitable for persons aged under 18 to play. Valve responded, saying, "We were surprised to hear of this news yesterday. Obviously, everyone at Valve is pretty bummed. It would be a shame if folks in Australia, or anywhere else, are unable to purchase Left 4 Dead 2 because of a ratings issue." Germany didn't even bother to take action until a year later on February 15, 2010, when the German court called for confiscations of all European PC versions for violating the representations of violence law.
The court said the game trivializes violence due to its high killing rate and the explicit graphical representation of mutilation. In order to make it legal for import and digital purchase, Valve had to make severe cuts to the gore and violence aspects of its game to appease the German and Australian rating boards. This included making infected bodies disappear after the player killed them, and entirely removing decapitation, dismemberment, wound details, and the piles of bodies that can be found on multiple maps. So what exactly was all cut at release? Both countries had a problem with the riot type infected, which were an uncommon infected that carry a nightstick and only spawn in the campaign, the Parish. In Germany, the riot zombie no longer existed in the game due to a law in Germany condemning the violence against official authority in video games and other media. These zombies were later restored in an update, but they no longer had the text "security" over the front of their armor. In Australia, the riot zombies were completely unmodified, but the board required that killing this type of zombie to not count toward the achievement known as Crass Menagerie, in which you have to kill one of each type of uncommon infected. This, in turn, actually affected the achievement globally. No matter what country you bought and play Left 4 Dead 2 in, killing the riot zombie is not required to unlock the achievement.
Both of the countries also had a problem with zombies being able to be caught on fire and blown up. To make the German board happy, Valve made it so that infected cannot be caught on fire, and no damage is shown on the zombies' model when they are hit by explosive ammo or blown up by a pipe bomb. In Australia, it was slightly different. Infected could be caught on fire, but the fire wouldn't actually show up on the model. The zombies would run with their arms waving and screaming, just like they do when they're on fire in the uncensored versions. Pipe bombs in both Germany's and Australia's version resulted in a cloud of blood instead of zombies blowing up into the air and losing limbs like in other countries' versions of the game.
Lastly, in Germany's version of the game, the cricket bat does not show any bloodstains on it. Australia's version of this weapon was sort of a gift from Valve to Aussie players, however. After Australia won again at the Ashes, which is a cricket series played between England and Australia, Valve edited the cricket bat texture to show the Southern Cross and all of the dates that Australia has won against England. It's worth mentioning that none of these censorships apply in Australia anymore, because the uncensored version of the game was approved for distribution on August 29, 2014, 5 years after the game's original release.
Here's where the story gets really interesting. In order to compensate for removing all of the fun stuff from their game, Valve decided to add some extra things into the German version as a form of apology to the players that were receiving the worst version of Left 4 Dead 2. Valve ported multiple guns and melee weapons from another title it developed, Counter-Strike Source, to Left 4 Dead 2's German release. These weapons included the combat knife, the MP5, the SG552, the Scout, and the infamous Op. These weapons are in the files for every region's version of the game, but they only naturally spawn in the German version.
These weapons are surprisingly balanced alongside the vanilla guns. It can be easily seen that Valve spent time lovingly balancing and adding the Counter-Strike weapons to the game instead of just chucking them in and calling it a finished product. The SG552 actually has a functional scope, which I honestly didn't expect. It has the same damage per shot as the assault rifle and fires 2 more shots per minute, but has a longer reload time to balance it out. The Scout and Op are both welcome additions to the snipers already found in Left 4 Dead 2. Both snipers inflict very high damage per shot and can take down every common and uncommon infected in one hit, even the riot zombie. The MP5 joins the battle as a new submachine gun. It has a slightly lower firing rate than the other SMGs, but makes up for it with its higher accuracy.
In conclusion, these guns were a very smart idea from Valve to make up for the censorships required to release the game to its German fans. Australia's rating board may have decided that the game was fine and allowed it to be distributed uncensored, but German players still have to play the non-gory and least bloodbathy version of Left 4 Dead 2 to this day. Hey, thanks for watching my video. This is my first actual video on YouTube, so I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, clicking the like button would really help me out, and if you'd like to see more, then go ahead and subscribe. If you'd like any clarification on anything, have any feedback, or would like to discuss the video, then leave a comment. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.